afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for May 31st, Tuesday, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a Time for Change call Wednesday night, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will be having a Reverse Aging Health call at 9 p.m. Eastern this Friday. The TFCC is going to involve some real, I'll just put it this way, real impactful information across the board. Surrender gives you the eyes to see God, and everything that is brought to these eyes becomes divine, Osha. A lot of people have asked, what is God? The source of God is the foundation of our very beings. It is our essential essence, our true life force, and the very fabric of our souls. When we can fully relax inside ourselves, we create room to fully connect with this divine source from which every life experience emanates. The deeper we can let go, discovering that the experience of God is the foundational truth of who and what we really are. When you fully realize that God exists inside of us, inside of you, there is a feeling of deep relief like nothing you have ever experienced in your entire life. It is as if you were holding your breath underwater all this time and have exploded up to the surface for your first breath of air. You feel like you can take in life in its totality in such a great lightness and buoyancy that you often feel like you're floating on air. To lift our consciousness is to ground it deeply. To do this, all that is needed is the state of surrender. To completely surrender means you are not only willing to let go of your mind and every thought inside your mind, yet that willingness is also relieved of its duty. We have completely let go. Now, this is a continual process, a perpetual release every day. When we no longer are holding on tight to anything, our ego's desires move to the back burner of the stove of our lives, and we trust the synchronistic flow of the universe ahead. Trust takes the front burner over desire. Trust takes the first burner over desire. And we choose to surrender to each experience not because we have to, but because it feels so good. There is this constant merging with what is that feels lighter and more free on the inside from this space. Whatever you want is what God wants. Your will becomes God's will, and God's will becomes your will. You become grounded in the divine reality. This grounded, enlightened state only happens through total, continuous state of surrender. So the big question I invite you all to ask yourselves today is, what causes you not to be grounded in God? What choices are you making that aren't allowing you to enjoy your life? Relax into your body and trust the divine. This is a unique personal answer for every one of us. Yet there is a 99% chance it has something to do with being wrapped up in attachment desire. Attachment in any one desire is what makes us think that we are separate from God. Being deep in desire makes us think that we need to go someplace better, have more money and things, become a better person. Also that we can eventually find happiness, fulfillment, and peace later on. Desiring all these things makes us reach, push, and lunge out for that carrot and overlook the God source that is already within us here and now. Desire is a tricky thing because we also need desire to keep life alive, flowing, and karmically moving. Without desires, we would all become sleeping slugs in puddles of warm mud. This may sound nice to some of us, yet honestly, how many years can one really enjoy this? The secret is to having a great relationship with your desires is trusting that all your wishes are also God's wishes for you. Know that the universe is a team player who is on your team, doing everything necessary to manifest your needs at the right time and place. When you truly surrender and trust that the universe is always working for you and never against you, then you're able to relax fully inside your body and find a deeply grounded experience in the divine. Now, if you should ever believe that God's will and your will are different, your ego is playing a game with you. You are never separate from God. You only think you are trapped in a state of difficulty and suffering because there is some idea that you are separate. This is what ego is all about. Ego is simply a tension, an identity, a separate goal-oriented mind inside you that is all about serving the little me to attain its personal success and agenda. It has nothing to do with merging with existence. So are you living from your microcosmic self or your macrocosmic self? Try living from both and see what occurs. Your small self or your large self. Only living from ego's needs leads to future suffering. Always leads to future suffering. Only living from the ego's needs always leads to future suffering. This is what perpetuates the cycle of needing, having, possessing, wanting, and then grasping for more. True surrender is perpetually trusting. It's a deep letting go of the ego's ideas about what you want and don't want. When you let go, you start abiding in the sacred home and heart where God is. And manifesting your desires simply happens and feels like extra icing on the cake. Knowing this is true wisdom and the source of where real freedom, empowerment, love, and lightness will shine through. The apparent presence of the mind is the doorway to awakening. Make peace with the mind in every moment, and you will experience total bliss. Angela Walker. Another great way to be grounded in God is to slow your life way down. Way, way down. Walk slower. Eat slower. And just do things at half the speed you normally do them at. People easily miss God when they rush through their day. Rushing through any life experience is like an act of violence against your soul. It means you are attached to the mind, still chasing after the carrot and overlooking the sweet, all-loving divine source that is here to be enjoyed at the core of your very being. If you're hurrying to get here and there, you will eventually get into the habit of feeling behind, overwhelmed, never on top of your life. You will stop believing in destiny and start beating yourself up about things that shouldn't or should have happened. When you slow down, you'll notice that Every single problem you have is because you are not fully here now, grounded in God. When the ego stops pushing you to get to the next experience so that one day find happiness, you'll drop the amnesia of what your life mission really is about. The day you are 100% surrendered to the God source, 100% surrendered to the God source, all your problems will have faded away, and you'll see everything in a deeply eternal loving in disguise. So, for the next 7 days, do this amazing exercise to practice feeling. Choose to do it or not. But I would recommend highly that you do it. Do this amazing exercise to practice feeling how much the universe truly loves you and supports you. Find some activity or community event that you want to go to that will be full of people who you do not know. You can simply visit a store, city, shopping mall. When you enter the room full of people, imagine your heart is expanding to the size of the room. As you consciously expand your heart, say to yourself, everyone here is happy to see me and loves me. Then walk around the room or store with this loving consciousness in place and look people in the eyes. Look deep into their soul. Do not be afraid to penetrate their mind and be penetrated. Just look with eyes filled with love. This will instantly pull or put a stop to any loveless world that they may be caught in and remind them that they are loved. Keep walking around randomly, sending love into their hearts, and notice how people treat you. You will be amazed how much love you feel from others and how good you feel at the end of this exercise. Throughout the week, interact with everybody you know, from this open, loving space. Enjoy the experiences you are about to have the most amazing, loving week of your life. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that any of us care to do, relax our bodies, head to toe, inside and out. How do we do that? Our breath. We focus on our breath. Easy in, slowly. Easy and slowly up in through the nose. And easy and slowly out through the mouth. Now, what's so special about breath and breathing? Well, the God that you are is in that body. You're not the body. You're not the character. You're not the personality. You're not the clothes. You're not the belongings, the status. You're the God in that body. So when you enter that body, you power it up, so to speak. Now the mother's soul powers that body until it is disconnected and you enter it. Then you power it. And, of course, the lungs go online, all the organs and everything, and then there you have oxygen, breath, divine positive energy. It comes, the breath comes, the true source from the God that you are. So you've seen it where, people get excited or children get, upset about something. You say, take a couple of breaths, easy in through the nose. Some people take deep breaths. They take easy breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. It calms the body. It strengthens the body, too. Have you ever exercised and used the breath? It's very powerful. But when you focus on the breath, you still the ego mind. It isn't there. The ego mind isn't there. It can't be. It doesn't exist in the now. All that mind chatter, we all have it, 24/7, is gone. And then each of us put out over 60,000 thoughts every 24 hours, without fail, day in, day out. Now, we also have tens of millions and billions of thoughts you might as well call them programs, that fly by like clouds in the sky. The interesting thing, they are not our thoughts. Have you ever taken in a thought? See, when they're not your thoughts, they come in. When they are your thoughts, you create the thought, you send it out to the universe. So you ever had a thought come in, and you embrace the thought, right? And you move energy into form, you create it a reality. So you manifest. So you give the thought power. And have you ever done that and you said to yourself, like something just didn't, for some, you didn't, maybe not directly, but there was something there that you would say, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. That's because it wasn't your thought to begin with. But in the now, that is all stilled. Subconscious mind, our great hall of records. It records everything. Everything. Not only the stuff that you do while you're in that body, but everybody else that you're around. All kinds of thoughts, and emotions and feelings, and angers and distrust. I mean, it stores it all and it plays it back. The great hall. But it doesn't exist now because you're in the now. And that's how the body, you'll feel the body let go. You'll feel it relax. And you don't fight it. You just go with it. You see, the body is like this super magnetic sponge, and we store stuff in our bodies. We don't know it. Most of us don't. But when you put stress after stress after stress, right? Now, usually as children, we don't really carry stress because we're just having just a ball living our lives. But as we progress and we become more conformed and more adjusted, more told what is and what isn't, you begin to stress. And in the ego mind, you stress, and it's fear and worry and anxiety, negativity, doubt. And more, it's heavy duty. And year after year after year after year after year, where is it going to go? It keeps building. So something breaks is what happens. Something with the body breaks because it can't handle the stress anymore. So you probably, you look at things like maybe when you're in your 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you had stressful situations, right? And you could handle it. It wasn't really, you didn't seem to have issue with it. You were able to handle it, and you go through it, and so on and so forth. But then as you get to a certain age, you start realizing you can't handle that stress as well as you used to. You say, you say to yourself that you can't handle the stress that you used to because the body feels it. The body is heavy. It's overloaded with stress. That's why. So you surrender it through the breath. Let it all go. When you have a fear, right? And we all have them. You have a fear that you ever have one that just keeps hanging there? And it disappears, and it comes back, and it disappears, and it comes back. And then you just say, okay, fear, let's have a seat. Now, why am I having this fear? Why are you here? And then the fear will leave because you have faced the fear. You haven't turned your back on it, pushed it under the carpet, or ran from it. You faced it. Okay? A lot of us will go, okay, so what's the worst case scenario and what's the best case scenario? What's the best case scenario? And so you go through it in the fear, and then you say, what's the worst case scenario? And then you adjust to that, and you say, okay, fine. So what's there to fear? There isn't anything. It's the ego mind that generates the fear, not your God mind, not your heart mind. So, and that actually is your God mind. So the ego mind is more the physical, and the God mind is spirit. Totally, huge difference. We always say, what's our solution when we have these issues that the ego mind conjures up for us? Face it and walk through it. And you'll feel the body relax, ease. You'll feel the flow of the energy of the God within you that you are. And this is where, see, to constantly practice being gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself at all times. And be in the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, deepest, and the purest of the purest, purest, eternal gratitude with yourself at all times. So when you're in the now, right? But then you find yourself off somewhere. Float it off and, grab one of the clouds passing by and you just float it off somewhere. Not a biggie. It's not a negative. So you say to yourself, not a biggie. I'll just focus on my breath and I'll be in the now. 3,000% of the time, which is every time. So every time the ego mind tries to pull you out of the now, you know it. See? You know what it's doing. And see, when you still the mind through your breath, you're able to watch it. See? You watch it. You don't judge it. You watch how it operates. You watch how the ego mind operates. Because you've left it alone. You're not interacting with it. And this is the gateway, the path to mastering the ego mind. Because when you're able to stay in the now 24/7, which nobody on this planet can, not even close. But when you do get there, because you will not have any suffering. You will not have any worry, any stress, any fear. You will have an abundant, vibrant, wonderful, loving life. And that's a fact. So wouldn't you think that's great motivation for all of us? A great motivation. Now picture yourself standing and you're looking at three paths. Now you're standing in the center path, which is the now. You're on this golden circle. And you notice that the path on the left is the past. The path on your right is the future. And you see how the trees have formed canopies over these paths. Golden shimmering leaves and branches and bark. And so the paths themselves, they're this brilliant emerald green flaming grass. Looks like grass. But you do notice something. The path on your left and the path on your right are really used. They've been used. But the path you're standing on now looks like brand new. And we know why. Because ego mind keeps us out of the now all the time and constantly puts us in past, future, future, past, past, future, future, past, past, future, future, past. That's why we suffer. Because it doesn't exist in the now. Now, we reminisce. We have thoughts. Memories, nostalgia, things that we've done in this life that we really had a good time, right? And we wouldn't mind doing it again. And we even reference times where we did things at that time, right, in the past, that didn't really work out right. And so we use that as a reference to say, okay, so I'm not going to do it the same way. I'll try a different way and see if that will work. So it is the grand hall. It's the great hall. It's our resource library in any life because there are past lives in that resource library. Now, we go there, okay? So we go up a flight of stairs and we open the door and we go in the door and, we turn on the light, we shut the door, and then we immediately, when you go into a room, you're looking at walls and ceilings, right? But this place is so vast that you can't see walls or ceilings. But nonetheless, you pick some books and some movies and some pictures, and you carry them over to an easy chair. You sit in the easy chair, and you've got a screen on the wall. And so you watch some of the movies and read some of the books and look at some of the pictures, and you reminisce. You have a good time. But you don't stay there. You put everything away, turn off the light, shut the door, and move forward in life. On occasion, you'll revisit it. We all do. But some of Some of us go there, and I don't believe it's consciously. I think it's unconscious. But some of us will go there, and we stay there so long that we end up bringing the past into the future, into a future that doesn't exist. And we create that future from that past, and we relive that past and that future. That's why a lot of people will say, no matter what we do, we always seem to end up here. Now, we all go into the future because we get hurried, because the ego mind is poking us and prodding us all the time. Come on, get going. You got to get this. Hurry. Come on. You know, you got to get it. You know what? You don't want to not have it happen, do you? And so this is what we get caught up in. So we look for external authority, people that can tell us what our future is going to be. The tarot readers, astrologers, tea leaf readers, palm readers, pendulums, just a plethora of things. And we go there because we get antsy and we want to know ahead of time. Okay. So they give us this information, whatever form. And we either take it in, embrace it, and have the trust and faith in the universe and say, it's a done deal, and the universe has got it. Universe, you've got this. And that's it. You leave it alone. But, see, it's very difficult for us to do that. So a lot of us will say, we'll kind of attach to it. We'll also attach expectations. So we'll have an attachment on the outcome as far as expecting. You know, when. Because maybe the reader or the person said to you in 3 months, or in a month, or in a week, or in a few days. And so you latch onto that. And then you start thinking, is it then the little voices come in, right? Ego mind says, well, is it really going to happen? Well, how can this happen? You know, look at my life now. How can this be, you know, that close and change my whole life? Others will just take it with a grain of salt and say, okay. But then there's those who know, and they just intend it, they embrace it, they have total faith and trust in the universe themselves, and they let it go. And inevitability is that it will show up on the universe's timeline, not yours. But it'll show up. So people may say, well, then why isn't everybody on this planet wealthy, happy, and healthy? Because they don't live the God that they are. That's why. They don't live the God that they are, which is not the ego mind, which is within each of us. So when we go in and we meet with the God that we are, not the body. And it's a discovery. So it's a choice, really, for all of us. And it's some knowledge. You gain some knowledge. You go out there and you research and you dig and you start discovering things, and then you have feelings that come through the heart mind, and you start picking up things, and you start waking up, and then you start realizing that, wow, this isn't me. This flesh and bone meat sack. It's not me. I'm the God within it. And then you start going in that direction. You start talking with the God that you are. You might say, hey, God, how are we doing today? I'm really grateful for you because you're keeping this body alive. And I tend to it. You know, I help when I can by communicating with you to see what we can do to improve the body and its health and all of its factors. Yeah. Now, everything's a choice. And only you make those choices. Nobody else does. You do. Whether you're consciously aware or not. Now, see, the illusion that's been played on us for a very long time, tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, is that we're separate. We're not. We have parts of ourselves the gods that we are have parts of ourselves that are stone cold asleep. Doesn't mean we don't deeply, eternally love them any more than the parts of the gods that we are that are awake. They'll wake in their own time. So we're consciously aware. Consciously aware, simply put, means that we know through our heart minds that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And we know we're all one. And that each God in each physical form is part of us. And they're part of us, we're part of them, which is also a choice. So eventually we will learn that we can be everywhere and anywhere and nowhere all at once. Because we're all one. I'm not talking about the body. I'm talking about the God within it. Now we're all gathered, and our intention on this planet is to eliminate all the crooked, twisted souls, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, AI goop, all of it. Is to vaporize it. And the true power, the only power that can do that is the power of God, which you inside that body are, and every one of us are. The power of God, the God that we are, the God source, the kingdom of God. And all the pieces, the spirit, the higher self, the soul. And so we focus on this planet, and we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God, force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Continues to intensify, grow, and expand. Now, we immediately form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This white fire emanates from the God source, which is within every single one of us. This is pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. And it is so bright that you could take a trillion suns, group them all together, put the God light in front of it, so it's in the background, the suns are in the background. They would pale in comparison to the God light, to the pure, deep, eternal love. This is so bright it grays out the darkness of sacred space, and we begin to ascend. And remember, this light's flooding this planet, saturating and permeating it 24/7, infinity and beyond. So as we ascend, we're immediately met with a massive ocean of glitter. Right? Now, this ocean of glitter, we take what we've seen here on this planet to try to describe it through our heart minds. And so we take a Grand Finale fireworks display, Grand Finale laser light show display, ballroom globe. The etched mirrors reflects all light, floods the room when you shine light upon it. Now, all of these are super intensified, trillions of times more intense and trillions of times larger. And we combine them all in one massive crescendo, in this one big burst of light. And we're looking at the reflective points, which are everywhere. And we get close to them, we notice that they're little tiny microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors. We enter them, and we discover that all of us, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, are teaching each other and learning from each other. Infinity and beyond doesn't end. But it depends on if you're still caught in the physical material world, on how much you're going to learn and how much you're going to teach. So through the heart mind, you look at a tree, right? And you say, oh, that tree's across the street. That's not part of me. Here's my body and there's a tree. How can it be a part of it? Well, because a part of you is in that tree that gives that tree life. Okay? The God. There's a God in the tree. God is experiencing the tree. Okay? Do you think any of us have not experienced trees? You might be surprised. Rocks, bushes, grass, dogs, cats, cows, moose, bears, wolves, bees, fleas, you name it. It's all life. Just to experience it, a pig, a bull. And they teach us. You ever notice that your dog or cat, how it teaches, you watch how it moves and what it does? And you notice that its temperament is such, in most cases, unless it's been severely abused, but in natural state, that if it does get mad, it doesn't stay there. And it's always trying to make you happy, and make you feel that you're lighthearted and don't take life so seriously. You ever notice that when you're down, they're down? You ever notice that when you're sick, they're sick? A lot of love light energy provides us with so much education, knowledge. It's off the charts. And the day will come. You remember when you were a kid? You remember when you look at things and you'd say to yourself, I wonder what it would be like to be that. Or you'd say to your mother or father, Mom, what would it be like? What is it like to be a tree? What is it like to be a bee? And of course, parents would say, oh, it's silly. We still have that curiosity, by the way. We just kind of buried it. You could sit on a park bench and just take things in through the heart mind. Not a care in the world. Go into the now and experience your surroundings. And you want to know what it's like? For a brief moment, you'll know what it's like, whatever you put your attention on, to be that. Now, we're immediately met with emerald green flaming healing light. We create these arcs of light. See, and then there's carriers. They're also parts of us. And, the gods that we are, we created the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. Archangel Raphael carries this healing, omnipotently powerful healing flaming light. And so it's created to remind us, the gods that we are in these bodies, that we're the power of healing. And then, of course, Archangel Michael, he carries a column of light, the violet, blue, purple flaming light, which reminds us, the gods that we are, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we come into the white fire. And this is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with a white fire armor, so to speak. It isn't like armor on this planet. It's way beyond that. And where does it emanate? It emanates from you, the God source, within that body. It's pure, deep, eternal love. It is the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. So the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, demons, whatever, they can't come at you. They can't come near you because you're maintaining that kind of frequency, that high frequency of pure, deep, eternal love. They'll vanish. They'll vaporize. They know, and so they stay away. Right? So you're always protected. 24/7 infinity and beyond. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, fear, greed, revenge, envy, hurriedness, stress, anxiety, fear, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor. and you do decide to do this, then there's all kinds of possibilities of lower dark matter frequencies, survival matter frequencies, the corrupted souls, demon possession, attachments, all of that. So when that happens, you're immediately met with some more columns of light. First one's a double column of light that we created. The first part of that column is purple transmuting flame. We created this part of the column to remind us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame, transmute all of these neutral light, these dark, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. Then we have the second part of the column of light, the violet ray. This is there to remind us, to tell us that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Then we're met with the golden white paint light. This is the column of light that we created, the gods that we are within these bodies, to remind us all, the gods that we are the sun, the sunlight, rain and the rainbows, the sun sets and the sun rises, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forests, the soils, the animals, the skies, the clouds, all of it. So through the head, through the ego mind, when we're presented with a rainbow, a sunset or sunrise, ocean front, ocean view, so mountain view, we say, but isn't that beautiful? That's spectacular. Look how majestic that is. Through the heart mind, we know exactly what it is. That is the God that I am. Always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. That is the God that I am. So through the heart mind, whenever you see this, try it. Ego mind, no. Heart mind, yes. You'd be amazed on the shift. So we continue to ascend above the planet. Now, some of us who are carrying physical form decide to jump outside physical form, hover effortlessly above it. And the reason we do this, we can, and it's fun. We come into contact with this massive crystal light tower. We created it, the gods that we are, larger than the solar system and beyond. And it, in the center of the column, is this massive oblong sphere. Center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. It, in turn, is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. This, in turn, creates this super bright white, flashing, flickering, glittering, misty cloud. It's absorbed through our heart minds, right through the chest, into the heart mind. It feels like a warm embrace that never ends. Now, we discover that the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And we discover that all of this is a reflection of the gods that we are in these bodies. Now, at the top of this column, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees 24/7, infinity and beyond. The golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. And it's flooding it, saturating and permeating this planet endlessly. All life, the highest supreme value in universes, on it, in it, above it, and below it. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops, drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion for any of us is separation. Now we come across our meditative sphere. We created this sphere, all of us, over 4 years ago. It holds nearly 1,900 meditations in perpetual motion, which continue to grow, expand, and intensify. Every day, hundreds of millions of us on and off planet, consciously aware, focus on the complete liberation of this planet. Earth, Gaia, Arya. That is shifting and changing many things. Literally. Massive shifting and changing. Disappearance of the shadows. No more hiding. Total reveal. Because understand, the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, the goop, it operates through the ego mind. 100%. It does not operate ever, ever, ever through the heart mind. Big difference. Now, this meditative sphere, you can plug into it anytime you desire. Anytime. Now, you can also see what's happening through the heart mind. You go into a meditative state. You focus on your breath and go into the now. You will see moving off the planet, moving up, levitating up, right? All of this really super black goop. And it's corrupted, twisted souls. Lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. Pure, twisted evil. All of this is floating up, off of the surface, on it, in it, above it, below it. And you notice that we've created this field all over the planet. It's like the aurora borealis, except it's at ground level and through the atmosphere, and it's golden white pink light, and it's flashing and shimmering, but you can see through it, and you see all this dark goop, and it continues to elevate up through the atmosphere, and you see it flashing. Little particles are flashing, and they're disintegrating and disappearing very rapidly. Now, any of it that meets the sky is this brilliant golden white pink light. If remnants of it hit the sky, it is evaporated. It's vaporized to be no more, gone. And that's what's happening. And it can't be stopped. Period. And it continues. It continues, and it continues to intensify, grow, and expand. You take all those meditations that we continue in deep eternal love for the cleansing of this planet, that affects every single life on this planet, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, 100 times over. This world is our mirror. Our response in relation to every being on this planet reflects our inner consciousness. This mirror is always present, always reflecting what we most need to know, allowing us to observe, learn, and grow on our soul's path to angelic development. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in, slowly, through the nose, and an easy, slow breath out the mouth. Be still. Excuse me. This universe has a plan for all of us. It is divine. It is magnificent. It is our soul's plan as well. Would you like to know it? It will be fully revealed to each of us the moment we let go of everything in our lives. And I'm not talking about, just throwing things out and giving everything up. It's just surrendering, letting go of everything in your life and experience your true self in each moment as unbounded and infinite. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, June 1st, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our Global Guided Meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call.